well, I've done a little bit of stalking on your LinkedIn profile. And I didn't realise that you were doing researching as part of, is it Duck Quacks Echo?
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
Like
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your other side of your career, so your TV work.
So yeah, occasionally I do some work on TV. So there was a show on Sky that I did with Lee Mack that I really, I just enjoyed doing it. I was very lucky, but I really enjoyed doing it. And it was like fun science facts. Does that make people bring in, and it would just be like stuff that was completely counterintuitive. I can't remember one that I didn't have to explain. I did, but Miranda Hart was covered in meringue and someone took a flamethrower to her. And actually, weirdly, because of the air pockets, that actually acts as a cushion and the heat won't transfer through. And it's like insulation, basically. So I did that, and we did 6 series of that. And I really, really just enjoyed it. It was just really fun. I loved it. And actually, everyone on it was really great. And
fantastic. I need to find that.
And then it's on Sky, unfortunately. Well, people did watch it, but just not enough, unfortunately. And it was, I loved it. And luckily, the people working on it and the people at Sky really liked it as well. So they kind of kept it going for 6 series. But it was great. It was lovely to work on. And I still do a thing about like weather, and it's on the Science Channel, Discovery Channel, about like weather, and I talk about weird phenomena. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Sorry, I'm filming it again soon, so I should know. Sorry, but I just really enjoy it. I like trying to explain quite complicated things in simple terms. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so I just really, really enjoy it. And it is lucky to be able to do that. And also, one of my favourite movies, so it sounds really... Well, the Duck Quacks is filmed at Pinewood. And as someone who loves movies... Sorry, I didn't... as someone who loves movies, going there. So Pinewood was where was it? Goldfinger. Effectively, loads of things in Goldfinger was filmed there. So the golf club's course is the bits of it when they're driving around. I think it's in Goldfinger where they eject the guy out the car, and he's suddenly walking around Pinewood, and you're like, hang on, that's used here, and this is used here, and it's like loads of films. And as someone who loves like movies, and like one of the areas we did a demo in was where they filmed Superman and Superman 2, and I loved that movie. And the cameraman actually worked on Superman as a young, like his first job, so I was nattering away to him. So just being in that environment, I absolutely loved it. Now, if you work there every day, you probably just got over it. But for me, going in there every day, I was just like, this is unbelievable to work in this place. I loved it there.
That was brilliant. That's so good.
And I got to meet Terry Wogan, who was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He's the only person, because I used to work in advertising, and so making very small films. But you'd meet lots of, you'd get lots of famous people doing voiceovers, or even maybe, I flew to New York and did an advert with Maggie Smith for Maxwell House Coffee, who was very snotty. But anyway, but the only person I walked into a recording studio once in Soho, and I literally just went, morning, because I thought I knew him, and it was terrible. Yeah. I'd never met him in my life, but he just said morning, because everybody said hello to him.
Yeah, we were having makeup put on, which I was like in the pilot, and I was like, oh, that's, very peculiar, having makeup put on, there's all this light bulbs around, and then this kind of chap walked in very quietly and just kind of, he was like, hello, everyone. And it was like, oh, Christ, it's Terry Wogan. He was really quiet. And, he said hello, but he was polite. And he just sat there and he kind of minded his own business. And I thought, he's quite quiet. I don't know how this is, how's this going to go? And I just said, Terry, he's very quiet. Is he all right? And he was like, yeah. And he was quite frail. Without being rude to him, he was quite frail. And then they said, oh, you wait till the camera goes on. And the camera went on. And he was just life and soul anecdote, and I was just like, it completely threw me. I was like, oh my God, how does he do that? He was just, it was like action. Yeah, and he was just like bang, anecdotes, being incredible. And I was like, wow. And like everyone was just in, like Lee Mack even was like, but was just sitting there kind of just like in awe of him, and was just like, yeah, he was amazing.
I love Lee Mack. He makes me laugh so much on Would I Lie to You?
Yeah, it was really peculiar working on him, because he didn't want to know any of the science stuff. So rehearsals, we couldn't rehearse anything that was going into the show, because he wanted to be surprised so he could just react off the cuff. So we did it at first. The first couple, we actually rehearsed with him everything. I couldn't see any difference, but he wasn't happy. If you get my meaning, because and I couldn't. I don't. It was only him that noticed, and everyone was like, I can't tell any difference. But so weirdly, we either had to do the rehearsals without him, or had to do different things, so he could just be surprised and react. And that was just his method of working. It was all completely ad lib. It was good.
Amazing. I felt like he'd seen it before, I guess.
Yeah, and it was forced, and it might be. I don't know if he was thinking it wasn't off the cuff, so it wasn't fun. But it was everything in it was just being completely spontaneous, which is crackers.
Yeah.
To carry a show just completely spontaneously.
Yeah, I was talking about you the other day, actually, driving up to in a running club. I can't remember if we've talked about running, but do cross country, and quite often the cross country is quite far away because we're in the Chiltern League. And I was driving up with a guy the other day, a young guy who I've known for about a year now, very nice. And it's that kind of thing, just two of us in the car chatting, and I never really talk about work or jobs because you're just talking about running all the time. But because it was quite a long journey, I was sort of, what do you do? And he was at Imperial he's only just left actually, but he did his postdoctoral whatever, and is this, that, and the other. But he's gone to work for a company. He does all about thrust stuff for satellites.
Oh, okay.
And he's gone to work. It's called George, but I can't remember his surname.
Oh, okay. Because there was a guy that worked in our new postdoc who just left, called Alex Weberheim, who's Kiwi, but he works on that. There's a few. Imperial's got a really good department on it. Yeah, and there's a couple of little startups that are popping up.
Yeah, he's joined someone, I can't remember. He's got a single word name, and I can't remember it now, so it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, he's gone to work for them. That's what I was talking about you.
No, they've got a really nice. I worked with them. There was, all the names of the people that are there, but Matthew, who's weirdly in Stem of Violence, that was in their team, and then there's Alex, actually, who's in Stem. But yeah, they've got really good. They're using like water, but you can ionize it and move it weirdly to ionize it, and then you push that out as your thrust. So yeah, they actually use water in space, and you can come down and scoop it out of the atmosphere. It's really interesting.
How weird! It sounds like Water Rokit.
Yeah, well, they charge it because you can charge water, and then you get opposites attract, and you have electricity from solar. And then because you can charge the water slightly, it gets attracted and gets pushed out the back. So yeah, they're using water and air and other gases. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff.
Amazing.
Ion thrusters, I think they're called. Yeah.